Hello, boils and ghouls. I hope you all are doing well. It is spooky season. That big long was not supposed to be in there. Live shows are fun. Let's see who's in the chat, because I completely forgot my introduction. Oh, right. No, I remember. Hi. Welcome to the patio of the library, where we have Wine and Reason every Tuesday at 2 p.m. USCTD, and the time where it is where all of you are now. I'm Julie. I'll be your host today, as always. And this episode is going to feature heavily on American politics, and I apologize in advance. For those of you watching from other countries, just feel free to get some popcorn and enjoy the show, because it's super weird here now, y'all. It's gotten even weirder. All right. Today's show is sponsored by You'll Never Guess, 3 exclamation points, who sent us a surprise gift from Amazon, which was a big box of Halloween candy. And in fact, I have a lollipop right here. It's watermelon that I'm very much looking forward to eating. And a copy of the Books of Blood, which Junk Shop lost their copy of that book eons ago and apparently mentioned it sometime on the internet. And whoever this person is, I imagine it's one of y'all, caught that and sent them a new copy. So thank you so much. If you don't know about the Books of Blood, it's a novel by Clive Barker. It's a fantastic horror writer. He did Hellraiser. Okay, so it's so good to see all of you. Let's see who's here. We've got my beautiful partner, Junk Shop Library, is in the house. A bit of tea in Danish. Linda is here. Hey, Godless Sewing is here. Hello. So good to see you as always. Oh man. Oh, Godless Sewing is cleaning out a closet and getting ready to donate a bunch of clothes. Oh, good for you. Actually, I need to do that too, for a couple of reasons. Paul Camish. Hey, hello, sir. If y'all, well, I think you all are, but if you're not watching Paul's channel, it's really cool. And Paul has what my mother would call the patience of a saint, because he has discussions with serious believers, like hardcore young earth creationists like Octangelo, and he keeps it civil and it's nice, and he doesn't mind watching their content. And I get to a point with that kind of content where I'm ready to throw stuff at my computer, and I can't do that because we can't afford to replace it. So I really admire the civility, Paul, and I admire the fact that you're reminding all of us that this doesn't have to be a dumpster fire, and it doesn't have to be a fight. We should be able to discuss different ideas in a civilized manner, and thank you for that. Omega Nuts is in the house. Oh, thank you. So good to see you. And that's awesome, because Junk Shop is on their phone. So if you can do that thing you do, Omega Nuts, and drop links, it would be appreciated. There are sources noted down below, but honestly, I did research for this Sunday, and things have changed. So I'm not entirely certain. I'm looking at more current sources now. I might have to go back and just add them in. So sorry about that. If the source I read from is not one of the sources linked in the description. Okay, so let's find out what's going on. As many of you know, at least 3, if not more by now. Actually, let me restart that. The word of the day is Schadenfreude. That's the word of the day. And I'm not gonna belabor this, because I don't like that people have a deadly disease. I'm just not surprised that the people who in our government who seem to be catching COVID-19 are the same people who were saying that forcing people to wear masks by law was somehow an infringement on their civil liberties. Apparently, we have the right to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and to die by not following basic medical procedures as well. Okay, fine. I guess you do. But this is kind of what comes from that. We now have at least 3 Republican senators with COVID-19. And of course, as I'm sure you all know, President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump have also tested positive and are in quarantine now. And please don't say anything in the chat about how please don't speculate as to how that might turn out, because I don't want this video suppressed. But also, I'm trying to be kind, trying really hard to be kind here. I did have a whole discussion on with some people in the chat of the Daily Atheist, Chris's show yesterday, or the day before yesterday. Sorry, they're all bleeding together. No, it was yesterday. And we were, I was talking about the ethics of Schadenfreude, and it's kind of like a reverse trolley problem, almost. It's kind of like the trolley problem in reverse. And if you don't know what the trolley problem is, it's basically a trolley is barreling down, and you're standing nearby right next to the switch that will switch it from one track to another. And you see that if the trolley keeps going the way it's going to hit 5 people. And if you switch it, it's going to hit 1 person. And there's no way you can warn them. You don't have time to get the 1 person to move off the tracks or the 5 people to move off the tracks. Do you pull the handle or not? And that's essentially the trolley problem. And people will put, oh, you're welcome, Paul. It was deserved. So that's essentially it. People like to make, hey, Lone Wanderer. People like to take the trolley problem and make it more complicated, because honestly, it's not much of a problem when it's put in its simplest form, right? 5 lives to 1. So people will say, well, what if the 1 person is the person who's going to discover the cure for cancer, right? Or they'll add in, other factors. But the thing is, in the moment, you can't do that. You can't know. So I think most people come down on the side of saving as many human lives as possible. There's a great citation needed episode that's really hilarious about the trolley problem, if you want to go into that in more detail on your own. They do a really good job on that one. But the reason that I think we're all, hey Santi, that we're all feeling the way we are about these Republican senators and the president and the first lady catching COVID-19 is because Trump suppressed knowledge he made light of this disease, even though we now know he absolutely knew how serious it was from the beginning. He downplayed it, and then he has been just basically telling his base what they want to hear and saying, wear masks or don't, and the hydrochloroquine nonsense, and and this one was the most bizarre. He'd just been briefed on how to get the virus off of surfaces by using bleach. And then he suggested that perhaps we could use bleach or light on the inside of our bodies. Don't do that. You do not. I don't think I have to tell anyone in the chat, but anyone watching in the future, some people did it. People did it and ended up in the ER. It was one of the most irresponsible things I've ever heard a person in power say. All right. So anyway, in that sense, the Schadenfreude is kind of ethically understandable, if not ethically allowed, because we've lost over 200,000 people, and now he's getting to experience what they did, and what the millions of people who have it and have lived through it experienced. And I have some friends who fall into that, luckily, that latter category, and this is no fun. Okay, so now the reason I talked all about that was to get to this point. And it's that Mitch McConnell, the great turtle himself, has decided that he's going to suspend the Senate because obviously COVID-19 is going around the Senate like crazy. Because like I said, we've got at least 3 senators, if not more by now, who have caught this. So he's suspending the Senate. They're not going to meet in person anymore. But at the same time, he's going to speed up the confirmation hearings for I just want to make sure I get her entire name. Yeah, Amy Coney Barrett. Now the weird thing about Amy Coney Barrett, she is a fantastic legal mind. There is no denying that. She did graduate first in her class from Harvard Law School. That is very hard to do. That's no small feat. However, she and her husband belong to, they're Roman Catholics initially, but they also belong to this heretical sect called dagnabbit, I knew it. I knew it until I started to say it. It has the word family in it. Help me out, chat. What's the word? What's the group I'm looking for? Anyway, they belong to this sect of Roman Catholicism that is not recognized by Rome. Like Pope Benedict, Pope Hitler Youth was like, this is too conservative for us. No. And she is rabidly pro-life. She absolutely believes that life begins at conception. And you know what? That's fine. She's entitled to that belief. What she's not entitled to do is to bring those beliefs into the Supreme Court and into her role as a Supreme Court justice, assuming she's confirmed, which, let's face it, she likely will be. Why this is terrifying for me is she has stated in the past that she wants to see Roe v. Wade overturned. And the other statement that I found terrifying was she said the purpose of studying law was to bring about God's kingdom on earth. And that's about as far away from separation of church and state as one can get. I mean, there are several Catholics on the Supreme Court, and there are a couple of Jewish people on the Supreme Court. They're not supposed to bring their religion into the courtroom. That's supposed to be left at the door, and that's how that's, in theory, supposed to work. But all right, so let's talk about Mrs. Amy Coney Barrett. She will face hearings. This is from Al Jazeera. And by the way, guys, it's 28 days until the election. Some places are already having early voting. If you can vote early, please do. If you can vote by mail, please go ahead and do that. Junk Shop and I will be voting here in Tennessee early. I want to say early voting in Tennessee. It's in mid-October, so it's coming up. All right, so here in an article written on the 6th of October, the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee announced on Monday that it would open a confirmation hearing for President Donald Trump's Supreme Court nominee, Amy Coney Barrett, on October 12th, making clear that an outbreak of COVID-19 will not interfere with the schedule. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, the committee's chairman, announced that the hearing would start at 9 a.m. on October 12th. So they're going to go ahead and have the hearing regardless. And then here's some news about the GOP and coronavirus. Coronavirus, this one is entitled, this is from CNN, and it's entitled Coronavirus. Oh, wait. They have a breaking news banner. Trump tweets that he is ending stimulus talks with congressional Democrats until after the election. Wow. Okay, so on that note, it looks like he's basically holding people like me and everybody who's out of a job right now hostage until the end of the election, financially speaking. That's great. All right. Oh, what a heart on that man. Gotta tell you, piece of work. Okay. So Lauren Fox from CNN. Uh, uh, this is from Monday, yesterday. Coronavirus upends GOP plans for a speedy Barrett confirmation. And for some reason, this website is not letting me scroll down, which I find very irritating. So we might just, yeah. I'm sorry, you might just have to check this out on your own because the website's being weird. Yeah, there it looks like they have a graphic here that has a picture of the Senate. I need to be able to know this for sure before I say it. Oh, come on, thing. Let me scroll down. This is how a super spreader event unfolds, is the graphic. Okay. So yeah, definitely check this out on CNN if you're interested. But yeah, essentially a picture of a lot of people and they're all together, and then and the picture's in black and white, and then it's showing in color the people who are infected, and it's just going to go exponentially from there. Fun, right? Oh, the picture is very fuzzy. I'm sorry, a bit of tea in Danish. Oh no, Amiganut has no wrench. What? How did that happen? I'm sorry. I will fix that. Hey, Sam. Yeah, vote. Vote. Seriously, please save us. We have to vote, and we got to turn some red states blue. And I know that's really difficult. I've lived in a red state my entire life. And so in essence, my vote has never mattered, but I still do it. So get out there and vote. Don't be defeatist about it. Ha ha ha. All right. Here we go. This is from The Fix. It's an analysis. The serious political and health risks Republicans are taking and moving forward with the Barrett hearings. This is by Amber Phillips, published yesterday. Quote, despite a coronavirus outbreak that has hospitalized the president, infected a host of his staff and Republican allies, and forced the Senate to pause all votes for 2 weeks, Senate Republicans are pushing forward with the confirmation of Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. There's an in-person hearing scheduled for October 12th, end quote. So what's happening here is that the Republicans want to confirm her as a Supreme Court justice before the election so they can stack the Supreme Court. Okay, this hat is funny, but it's also kind of in my way. So they can stack the Supreme Court with as many conservative judges as possible. And remember, those appointments are for life. So that's the problem. And they refused after the sad passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They refused to wait until after the election, and they just threw Amy Barrett at us and said, "This is our person," or the president did. And it's terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. Aha! It was the Lone Wanderer. Thank you, Lone Wanderer, for the candy and the book. That's amazing. All right, here we go. Sorry. Side note into happy things. You never mentioned the book. I just looked for the cheapest Clive Barker book. You said you loved Hellraiser. Guess I'm psychic. I was so worried it would be stolen. Nope, we got it. And thank you so much. And while we have had a package stolen off our porch once, that's not happening much these days. I think just because we're both home all the time. So the moment anything arrives, we go get it. But thank you, Lone Wanderer. That was a really nice surprise today, and we needed it. I won't go into detail, but life's a bit rough right now, y'all. Okay, so I agree, GeoSam. GeoSam says life appointments should be abolished. I actually agree. I think we need term limits on Supreme Court justices if this is how they're going to act. I mean, if this is how the Senate is going to act to stack the court, and it's not going to be, and by the way, there's nothing in the Constitution that says how many Supreme Court justices there have to be. We've had less than 9. We've had more than 9. The really disturbing thing to me is that this is completely what Mitch McConnell is doing by suspending the court because of an emergency, but going ahead with the hearings, even though the court's going to be suspended. I'm sorry, I'm saying court. I meant the Senate. I apologize. Take court out of those 2 sentences and insert the Senate. That's completely legal, which really surprised me. But according to at least a couple of constitutional lawyers who have come out to talk about this and have said, yeah, they can do that. It's a bummer, but they can. So that's completely legal. But the fact that you could stack the court to this degree, I mean, honestly, it's weird. We're going to have a court that's like 74% Catholic, which is bizarre and has never happened in this country before. And I wonder if the religious right, if the base for Trump and certainly for a lot of these conservative Republican senators, if they know that, because Protestants in the U.S. do not like Catholics very much. Or they don't like Catholicism, I should say. They probably have neighbors who are Catholic to whom they are perfectly lovely. I don't mean to say that they're hateful or anything like that, but they really do see us as, Mary worshiping idolaters. That's just, I mean, I grew up with that, with Protestant kids, being dicks about it, frankly, on the playground. So it is what it is there, and I'm very surprised that the very conservative, like evangelical Protestant base seems to be fine with this, or maybe they just don't know. I don't know. And Amiga Nut said, a religious zealot on the Supreme Court? What could go wrong? Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. Oh, Paul Camish, yes, we did post the library cards. I'm so sorry. We oh yeah, library cards. Yeah, exactly. We put them in the post last week. I'm sorry. They were posted. The overseas ones were posted late. And that was completely my fault. I had meant to get to the post office because those, you have to send, you can't just. Why am I talking to y'all like you're not adults? I'm talking to you like you don't know how to send post overseas. Anyway, you can't just stick a stamp on there. So I had to go to the post office while it was open and send them. And that was fine. We have a post office right here. There were a couple of days where I was like, oh, I need to go to the post office. It's after 4. They're closed. Damn it. So I'm sorry. It's my fault. Please don't blame Dunk Shop, but they are in the mail now. So hopefully you will get them soon. Hey, Brain Bug. Oh, are we being pirates today? I have little devil horns, but I have a pirate costume somewhere. Oh my goodness. So what do y'all think about this absolute clusterfuck that we're going through right now? Here's a quote from Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham. He's the Republican senator from South Carolina. We're going to have a hearing for Amy Barrett, the nominee to the Supreme Court. That's the quote. He continued, "It will be done safely, but I've got a job to do and I'm pressing on." Okay, well, end quote. That's really nice. Lindsey, I'm glad you have Senator Graham, excuse me, and I don't know this guy. It's not like we're on a first name basis. I respect the notion that, the work ethic there. Like, we have a job to do and we still have to serve as a government. We can't just not govern. However, I don't believe that that's his only motivation. I'll just put it that way. I really do not think. I think that's spin, and I think it would be a bit naive to not look at. I mean, to see everything else about how this court's gonna be if she is confirmed, and not think that yeah, no, you just don't want to wait until after the election because Trump might lose. Okay. Ooh, here's some news from the Hive. I don't usually mix my political news with news from the Hive or the bunker, but I'm digging it. I'm digging these virtual spaces we've all created. And by the way, I do consider the library, the Hive, the patio, and the bunker to be virtual spaces that are all allied with each other. I'm having way too much fun in my imagination with this, but Brainbug says the new mantises shipped this morning. They had to come priority mail because we can no longer depend on the standard post. Oh no. Actually, that does kind of sort of tie into today's topic. The reason, and Brainbug, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason we can't depend on regular mail, standard post for particularly anything living like Brainbug's mantises is because Trump has gutted the funding for the U.S. Postal Service, and the U.S. Postal Service is in the Constitution. Like, it was created as part of the Constitution. It's a part of our government that was meant to connect us colony by colony, or rather state by state, as one nation. That's why it was made a federal institution. And Trump talks about privatizing it. Well, we've got FedEx and we've got is it UPS, the brown logo one? There are private shipping firms that you can ship through, but the United States Postal Service used to be the standard, right? I mean, to get an ID in this country, if you've ever taken a kid to go get their permit to drive or whatever, and it's the first time they're getting a photo ID, one of the things you have to have, besides like their birth certificate, you have to have proof of residence, which is a certified letter that's been sent through USPS. That's how they know that person actually lives here. And it's anyway. So we have a very small post office right down the block from us, and a lot of post offices have closed all over the country, and I am desperately hoping that does not happen to ours, because I'm a bit chummy with the people who work there. I like them. I've lived in this neighborhood a long time, and they're nice people, and I don't want them to go away. And I definitely don't want them to lose their jobs. And that's another thing. I mean, my grandfather was a postman. That was a postal worker. It's a good, solid job. Okay. I'll stop ranting about the post office, but Trump needs to stop cutting its funding. And I'm starting to get disheartened. I've signed so many petitions, and I've, tried to be civically active, and I've written to my own state senator, Senator Marsha Blackburn, Republican, Tennessee. And it's rough. I hate writing to her. We have other representatives. We have a Cohen as a Democrat, and yeah, but okay, sorry. I made myself sad. But yeah, I'm getting a little disenchanted with the whole with a lot of the process in terms of what people like, what everyday citizens can do. I think I was naive. I think I was under the impression that if you if you called, if you emailed, if you wrote to your representatives, they'd listen to you. Now, I can say this: a handwritten letter is a very powerful thing because no one does it anymore, apparently. And let's face it, emails. Excuse me, sorry guys. Emails are quick and they're easy, and usually, if you're signing a petition, they already have the text like filled out for you, and you can change it if you want, but you don't have to. And they get the people in the Congress and in the Senate get those emails every day, hundreds of them. They're not reading them all. In fact, the email that I always get back when I email our representatives, it's a form letter because it comes back immediately. It's like that out of the office notice that you get if you email someone at work and they're taking vacation days, except it's a thank you for we appreciate hearing from Tennesseans on this matter. We'll look into it more closely and get back to you. And sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. Oh, someone's saying lag. Am I lagging? Is it bad? Oh, that might be something else going on. Okay, great. Yay. So that seems to be about where we are. I don't know if this is going to be, if we can make this a news segment of anything or not, but I need to back away. Oh, wait. The point I was making was if you live in the States and you really want a representative to sit up and take notice of something you have to say, handwrite them a letter and try to have, very clear, readable penmanship. They will appreciate that, and they are much more likely, like the odds of them responding to that are much higher, apparently. Spooky bed hair approves the hair. Is that hair? What the heck? I approve whatever that is. Thank you. Thank you, spooky bed hair. I could not expect a higher recommendation, honestly. Math Pig says, I English good. Well done. Well done. You do, actually. You have excellent grammar. All right. So weird things that fall out of books. This happened live on one of Junk Shop's streams, but it's weirding me out, and I need to talk about it too. This, see if you can see it. Okay. So here we have St. Michael up there in the clouds. We have Jesus. We've got 2 Boy Scouts looking up at Jesus and 3 kneeling in front of him, which is just a little creepy. And then he sort of has his hand reaching out to the first one that's kneeling as though he's about to cup the young man's face or something. It's a little weird. I don't know. Maybe that's just my own horrific brain turning this into something not innocent that should be innocent. But also in the very background, and I don't think there's any way y'all can see this, there is a animal hide stretched on a excuse me, on a I forget the actual term for it, but basically it's after you skin a deer, you stretch the hide out on this wooden structure and then you scrape the inside of the hide to get any remnants of muscle tissue and that sort of thing off of it. And that's before you use the slurry and all of that to, fun with. I live in the South. It's weird what I know. Okay. But, and of course, this is a newly skinned hide because there's a bunch of blood pooling at the bottom of it. So, for those of you who don't know, the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts of America was started a really long time ago in an attempt to get young people, give them some survival skills. I mean, we had a lot of wilderness for a long time in this country, and also get them to appreciate the natural beauty uh, here. And you know, and it was fun. I was a Girl Scout. It was a lot of fun. We camped, we fished, we learned how to put tents up, take them down. We learned how to start a campfire and take care of it properly, and we hung out in nature, and it was fun. And when we couldn't hang out in nature, we did stuff like learn how to make pizza, like homemade, like make pizza dough and make all the stuff yourself. And it was a lot of fun. Yeah. So yeah, tenterhooks. I'm not sure. It's more like a rack that you stretch it's like a wooden rack that you stretch the hide on that kind of leans like this and has like 4 legs coming out, 2 on each side. Yeah, sorry, I don't know that. This is, I need to find out where to read Saint's origin story. Yeah, if you're talking about unless that's a reference to a comic book or something, if you're talking about any of the Catholic saints, Santa, you can just look them up. You can just Google their name and you'll get their origin stories. And some of them are bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. There's a Saint, Hulga, I think was her name. That was also one of my great grandmother's names too. So I might be confusing that. But anyway, she was basically a landowner in the Middle Ages who just massively killed lots and lots of Muslims, and so they made her a saint. Not a nice person. Definitely not someone I'd want to have dinner with. Terrifying. Yes, there is. Yes, there is, Lone Wanderer. Anyone who got diddled, there is a class action suit against the Scouts of America. Yes, there is. Because like all of these organizations, particularly it seems to be the ones backed by religion, yeah, there are sexual abuse scandals coming out that I think some people knew about, but it's much more in the public eye now, and we definitely need to shine a light on that. And yeah, if that affects, I hope it doesn't affect anyone in the chat, but if that affects anyone watching, there is a class action suit. Get into it if you can. Oops. Maybe Amy can talk to the Pope. Seems the Holy Father is starting to denounce capitalism. I know, it's kind of amazing and weird. Oh, thank you, Linda. I always like a book. So Junk Shop said murder saints are the best saints. Yes, they are. No. They're definitely the most disturbing. Mama Atheist says, murder saints? Sorry, just dropped in. I apologize for being late. I was talking about a saint who basically became a saint because she had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds with her army. She had an army. She was a medieval landowner, but her knights and army just murdered hundreds of Muslims, and they did not just men, not just fighting men. They would basically go into a town and kill everybody, all the women and children, anyone who was not a Christian. Done. And yeah, so I need to make sure I have her name right and get that. They Cracked did a thing about her, and that's how I learned of her originally. Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah, the Pope is Argentinian, and I mean, is that something to brag about? Well, in a way, it is. This current Pope. I'm kind of with Santi on this. This current Pope is the first Pope from South America, from any South American country that we've had, and he has problems. He's not great, but he's also way less awful than some other ones. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, it was kind of a big deal. Yeah, exactly. Mom atheist is right. Yeah, need to. Okay. And then on the back of the creepy scout card, it's got the scout oath, which I think I'm probably using the wrong hands, but well, it should be like that. I think this is how we did it. The Girl Scout oath. It might be a little bit different, but I don't think I can remember. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law. Wow, yeah, this really was a Christian institution from the outset. To help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Okay, suddenly the Scouts are looking more and more like Hitler Youth, and they're scaring me a little bit. And then it has the 12 Scout laws, which is they all start with a Scout is, and then it's trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Clean? They had to specify that one? You must be well groomed while you are skinning that deer. What's wrong with you, son? You've got some blood on your tie. Are the scissors broken in your house, son? Anyway, all right. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Just realizing I was part of a kind of creepy fascist leaning American tradition as a kid, and now I'm coping with that realization. That was fun. I do how to make proper hot chocolate. Okay, moving on. Oh, nice. They kicked me out because I talked too much and asked difficult questions. So maybe that will tell you something about the Girl Scouts. Yeah, they absolutely will kick you out for asking difficult questions. And it's very, I don't know. It was weird. My another point of the Scouts is to make friends, but I ended up in a scout troop where the leader was the wife of one of the doctors in the small town where I grew up in. So all the other girls in the troop were like the preppy girls, and I was not, and they hated me. So they tolerated my presence because, the adults were right there. But they did not yeah. They weren't nice when they didn't have to be. Okay. I know, right? Ah, okay. So Mama Atheist says, why couldn't they kick me out of the Catholic Church for asking difficult questions? My friend, I don't know, but man, it's really hard to get excommunicated these days. They used to do it for all kinds of stuff. I think even, if just a few decades ago, like if I were publishing an atheist newspaper or magazine or something, that would probably be enough to get me excommunicated. But now they don't want their numbers to dip any further than they have, and already. So it's really difficult. And if you want to know just how difficult, Jen from the Atheist Wine Down has a very interesting story on her channel about how she got excommunicated, but she had to do all the legwork herself. But it is fascinating. All right. Yes. Do we have questions? Do we have? Oh, do you? Hang on. Whoa. Oh, hang on, Spooky. I want to know about this. I'm fascinated. We had to take an oath to the Queen. Is that a thing? I know it's riveting to watch me wait while someone types. That's terrible. Yeah, I'm very curious. Hey, Harmonica Man, I'm very curious about the oath to the Queen business. We say the Pledge of Allegiance, and we say it to a flag, which is weird. We make an oath to a symbol, it's a little weird. And the older I get, and the more, because you start doing it as a kid in school every morning, and it doesn't seem weird at all or creepy in any way. But later on, if you think about it for more than a minute, it starts to get a little weird. Yeah. Okay, so Spooky Bed Hair says, yeah, from what I remember. Let's see. Don't mention flags to a Northern Irishman. Yeah, yeah, symbols are powerful things, and I think still in some cities and areas, and even here, there. I've told you all about the scary place that I passed driving out to my friend's farm with that only flew the Confederate flag, and I was like, yeah, we are not going to be here after dark. Just I don't know what kind of hills have eyes situation is going on over there, but I'm terrified. Okay, so Santi the Sane says, I had to take an oath against all monarchs because we won the independence war very violently. Ah, that makes sense. And that's also probably why we make a pledge here to a flag, and it's more of a pledge. It's a vow to an ideal more than it, or a set of ideals more than it is like we don't pledge allegiance to the presidency, or even to the U.S. government. We do pledge allegiance to the country for which it stands is in there. So yeah, that's it. Oh, this is fascinating. Thank you, Paul. I swear by Almighty God, do solemnly and truly declare and affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, her heirs and successors. Wow. That's intense. Thank you for sharing. Oh, whoa, it's longer. I'm sorry. 1 second. And that I will, as in duty bound, honestly and faithfully defend Her Majesty, her heirs and successors in person, crown, and dignity against all enemies. And there might be more. I'm not sure. Wow, that's intense. That's intense. But here we go. Here's the last bit. And will observe and obey all orders of Her Majesty, her heirs and successors, and of the admirals, generals, air officers, and officers set over me. Oh wow. So is that oath specific to people in the armed forces in the UK? It's an interesting that it's kind of a beautiful oath, but it's interesting. It's tricky for me to wrap my head around it, but it does seem to work for y'all. Like you're one of the most least. I mean, you're one of the most least. Nope, can't take that grammar. No, you're one of the least actively religious countries. Yes, armed forces. Okay, thank you, Paul. Thank you for sharing that. It's kind of beautiful. It really is. And it is fascinating because yeah. I'm going to stop talking now because I don't want to talk about things I don't know about and give you guys weird information. So Brainbug brings up one nation under who? Under what? Nah, hard pass. Yeah, agreed. And of course, y'all know this. The under God part of the Pledge of Allegiance, one nation under God, indivisible, so on and so forth. The under God bit was added in the 50s. It's not. Some people don't say it, and I was taught to say it that way, and I have to really think, because once you've got something so memorized by rote, it can be tricky to change up the words. But yeah, if I'm ever at a football game or something like that, and the Pledge of Allegiance is said, I just don't say the under God part, because we're a secular country. Yes, and I think this is fair. Julie, English like math, pig, good. Yep. Uh-huh. And Paul says, if you're not religious, you start with, I do solemnly and truly declare and affirm, and you miss the God bit. Okay, that's cool. So you're not required to say the God bit. That's neat. That's actually really cool, especially since uh and correct me if I'm wrong, but the Queen is the head of state as well as the head of the Church of England. I know head of the Church of England part. I'm not sure if state is the right head of state is the right phrasing. Yeah, under God does make it divisible, Harmonica Man. You make an excellent point. It does, doesn't it? Ugh, dag nabbit. All right, so Figgy Bed Hair has the one that he made. I don't know how we got off on oaths here, but this is fascinating, and I'm here for it. I promise that I will do my it's because of the Boy Scout card. Sorry. I promise that I will do my best to do my duty to God and to the Queen, to help other people, and to keep the Scout law. That was the one you learned. Okay, yeah, there we go. That makes sense. Oh, and Paul confirmed, yes, the Queen is the head of state and the armed forces in the UK. Thank you, Paul. And frankly, I get a kick out of her. I don't romanticize the Yellow's monarchy like a lot of Americans do. They like we freak out anytime a prince or princess gets married. We're all like Americans are like glued to the TV, like this is the coolest thing ever. And it's like I don't quite understand that level of being into it, but anyway, but I do, yeah. Elizabeth II, she's led a fascinating life. Yeah, she doesn't have any power. That's true, and that's good. Yeah, starting with the Magna Carta centuries ago, and then leading up to now. Yeah, but she she's led a fascinating life. She really has, and she's an interesting lady for sure. Okay. Amiga Nut says, more oath taking here. I remember taking an oath to defend the Constitution of the USA from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Thank you for bringing that up, Amiga Nuts, because that's one of the cool things that's been happening during the Black Lives Matter protests. Is we have had either retired or active or current members of every branch of our armed forces, the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines, and they have been, some of them individually have been out protesting with the Black Lives Matter protesters because of that oath. And that's what they cite when asked why they're out there protesting. And they're wearing either a hat that says, Marine, or, Army, or what have you. And they're like, because I swore an oath to protect and uphold the Constitution and the people's right to assemble to redress the government for grievances is not being maintained. So we have to. I made an oath. I have to be here, and I gotta say I cried a little bit when they were interviewing some of those guys, because I was like, thank you for being amazing. All right. So, another interesting thing about that too is members of Congress and the Senate also take an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States. And they don't have to do that. They have to place their hand on a book and raise their left hand on a book and raise their right hand. And historically, that book has often been the Bible, but back in what was it 2018 when we got a majority of Democrats in Congress? Not that long ago, but when AOC and a bunch of other women and Democrats all got elected to Congress in the same year, and we basically flipped Congress, because at that point the Congress was majority Republican, as was the Senate. When we flipped that, and they were all going in to make to do that, they had a bunch of books that they could choose from, and there was a lady, and this is why I shouldn't go off on tangents that I haven't prepared for in advance, because I can see this lady's face in my mind. She was one of the people they kind of focused on because she is an out her partner, or she has a wife, and she's out about. I think she identifies as bisexual, but she's out about that completely. She was out about it during her campaign, and she is. I think she identifies as agnostic as well. So she swore on. She made her oath with her hand on a. It was either a copy of the Constitution or a federal law book. I forget which, but that was kind of neat. And I'm not sure what's happening in the chat, but you all are having fun, and that's cool. All right. Well, I have started to get to the point where I'm just talking about things I haven't researched yet, and I don't want to do that because I don't like passing on bad information. So, regardless of where you come down on this business, it's going to get really interesting really fast, and I really hope Amy Coney Barrett is not appointed. But honestly, if you watch Kavanaugh's confirmation hearings and what a horrible clusterfuck that was, and he still got appointed, I really don't see how we're going to avoid it. And that is terrible. So, on that depressing note, we are bringing back the return of the as yet unnamed couple stream. That's going to be 5 o'clock every other Friday. So we're going to have one this Friday. If you are, as in a few days, if you are a patron of mine, you've already seen the first one, but that's for patrons only. And we should probably share that on Junk Shop's Patreon too, now that I think about it. But you've already seen the first one. The second one is for everyone. It's free. Don't worry about it. And that will be this Friday, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time in the U.S. And I'm not even going to try to tell you what ungodly hour that will be for Paul and Linda and anyone else living abroad, because we tried to make it early enough that maybe if y'all were going to be up anyway on a Friday night, you'd catch it, or maybe catch some of it, but also late enough to where we didn't feel too weird about drinking. So that's what, because American culture is weird about that. It's not acceptable to drink any time of the day here unless it's a Sunday and you're having brunch. Alrighty. So yes, if you like what I do and you want to support the channel and want to see me maybe it certainly increase its production value, please go to patreon.com/Wine&Reason. That's capital R, capital A, and capital W, but the W is the first one. Junk Shop put the link in the chat. Thank you so much to the patrons I already have. They are scrolling at the bottom of the screen. And I appreciate all of you so much. The Lone Wanderer, a bit of tea in Danish, Captain Kimothy, Mark Caesar, and Santi the Sane. And Santi the Sane, a bit of tea in Danish, and the Lone Wanderer all have YouTube channels, as I think we all know here. But if you didn't know, now you know. Check them out. Santi's doing awesome interviews. Linda does a bit of tea in Danish. Linda does the lovely TMI show, and the Lone Wanderer just started the coolest series on I'm gonna get the title wrong. The Blank of the Religious, The Crimes of the Religious. And the first one is out, and it's not easy to watch. It deals with some, I mean, she doesn't show anything, but trigger warnings right up front. But it's important. It's very important. And it's an excellent, I mean, just beautiful job, especially, whoa, and I just bumped my mic because I'm a total professional. Um, just really well done. Crimes of the Religious. Thank you, Lone Wanderer. Crimes of the Religious in the bunker. Yeah. And it is every Thursday at 1 p.m. If y'all want to shill your stuff, please do so. Santi the Sane, yours is, when is yours? Just go subscribe to them and hit the bell and you'll get the notification. All right. So this is me winding down. I'm gonna let y'all, harmonica man. First crime being religious. Oh, some of them can't help it. Indoctrination is real, so I get what you're saying. That is actually, that's hilarious, and I'm the worst person for taking something someone says as a joke and going, yeah, but, because that takes away the funny. So sorry, harmonica man. That was very funny. But yeah, if your faith is telling you to do bad things, maybe you need to re-examine. Yeah, you can shill without a wrench. Santi the Sane's link is in the chat. Brainbug just dropped it. Junk Shop is dropping links all over the place. Oh gosh, Math Pig and Mama Atheist. Math Pig's open mic night is great. If you haven't been there, it's really good. And of course, Mama Atheist is teaching us all about climate science and other things, other social issues. And she's freaking brilliant. She is like literally a rocket scientist. So, I'm sure you've all checked her out, but do it. Check out Brainbug's channel for fun with creepy crawlies and good science education. And Linda and I just do kind of all the feelings. We're big on the feelings. Also Thursday. Oh gosh, yes, of course, Paul, you can have a spanner. I can't do it from StreamYard as far as I know. But I'll go into I'm gonna go into YouTube right after and I'll get you guys spanners. I can try to do it now. I can try. I've tried this before and it didn't work out terribly well, but let's see what happens. All right, I'm signing out. Junk Shop. I'm continuing. Oh, Google has a thing underneath in the States that says find out how to vote in this election. So again, if you're not sure if you're registered or if there could be any weirdness there, the time is now. In fact, the deadline, depending on where you live, may already have passed. So be good, for goodness sake. Whoa. And go out and vote. Okay. Go into YouTube. Somebody else needed a spanner too. Oh, Amiga Nuts needs a spanner. My gosh. All right. Let's see if we can get this done. This is riveting for y'all, isn't it? It is completely fascinating. Here we go. Live now. Oh, God. That looks terrible. Absolutely terrible. Okay. I'm going to see what I can do here about spanner giving. All right. Yep. Add moderator. Add moderator. And there was, Amiga Nuts. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. And looking for Amiga Nuts in the chat. Don't know why I'm singing, except I do that when I'm nervous. Sorry, just completely out of context. Harmonica Man. I was kicked out of my one-man band once. That would be a bummer. Where the heck did Amiga Nuts go? Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. That was my fault. Okay. And I apologize for the horrible quality right now in this moment. This is bad. All right. Okay, so now we got some new mods, and I'm closing that out because that looks terrible. Oh, the last source I was talking about was was from the Washington Post, and that was the one where, oh my gosh, none of these people are social distancing. There's a video of people speaking, and they're standing like 2 feet. I mean, the people who aren't speaking in the moment aren't wearing masks, but they're standing like 2 feet away from each other, if that. It's wow. Your timing's fine, sweetie. You just missed one or something. Yeah. Okay. So everybody be well, be safe out there. Remember, not that I need to tell you all this because you're intelligent and ooh, that wasn't the nicest thing I could have said. You are intelligent, but there's an implication there. Anyway, the point is, y'all understand how viruses and germs work, so I'm not as worried about you as I am about some other people. I caught my own dad wearing his mask under his nose the other day, and I was like, nope, no, sir. So, all right. Well, anyway, love from Memphis, y'all. And remember, you can't find truth in wine, but you may find it in reason. So, bye.